Great. Hi, everyone. Adeline is unfortunately sick today, so I am filling in. So I'll send her your well wishes. I'm going to share the last PowerPoint for this session. Give me 1 second. Am I sharing the right one? Are you seeing the PowerPoint?
It
No.
says you've started. Oh, there it is. Yes.
Yes? Okay. Let me minimize thumbnail. All right. Okay. That's, all right. Okay. So week 7. So first, I want to start off by presenting or giving you the option. I think Adeline had talked about this last week. So as the co-director of the UPMC Moving Through Cancer program, we have the Team Cancer Crushers, and we're offering a free virtual exercise program that has already started, but you are welcome to enroll on a rolling basis. It started in February and we're going until May 9th. So you can join anytime if you're interested. We offer 4 different days of the week. You're welcome to join 1, 2, 3, or all 4 sessions per week. It's really up to you. And we don't hold you to any attendance. It's just whether you can drop in and you want to do exercise. We wanted to offer this to you as a way to continue on the progress that you've made through Happy Feet over the past 7 weeks. So if you feel like you need more guidance and you need people to kind of make you exercise in a sense, we can absolutely be those people. We can do that. Navreen is one of the instructors, and we have 2 other master instructors as well, under the guidance of myself and Adeline. So it's offered Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and those are the specific times. This is a particular flyer, and if you scan the QR code, it will send you to the registration form, but I'll also put the link to the registration form in the chat later on, and I'll re-bring this up at the very end as well so that I can reiterate if you want to do exercise up until May to kind of fill that gap. You're more than welcome to join. It's similar to the format of Happy Feet, where whatever equipment that you have, in this instance, resistance bands or dumbbells, the instructors will work with you to give you the exercises based on where you are functionally, what equipment that you have, and whatever particular goals that you're trying to achieve. So if you'd like, please join us Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays up until May. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me directly. And like I said, I'll put the link to the chat. I'm sorry, the link in the chat to the sign up form. All right, so today we're going to be doing the functional assessments. If you were here for week 1, you'll slightly remember I was in my renovation house where we were doing all the assessments. So today you'll need either a sheet of paper, or if you have a phone or a tablet, a Word doc or a Google Doc or a Notes app, or anything that you can record your results. So if you don't have that already, please go ahead and grab either a sheet of paper and a pen or whatever venue you need to write down your results. Just a couple of reminders that you'll need your assistive aid. If you have a walker, a cane, or crutch, or whatever you need, please have that on hand if you have one. Grab a chair with no arms, preferably, if that is available to you. Dumbbells, 5 pounds for women or 8 pounds for men if you have dumbbells, or any other household item. I believe in the very beginning we asked you to record if you use, let's say, some household item like a can of soup or a gallon of water or a laundry detergent bucket. Whatever you used before, if you do remember, go ahead and grab that. And remember, safety is your number 1 priority. So make sure that you're feeling well enough to these assessments. They're not mandatory, but they are strongly encouraged for you to see how you've made any difference in terms of your strength. And for us to get this data, because it helps provide quantitative, concrete evidence that exercise really is medicine for patients and survivors. And we can give this data to people who fund Happy Feet, and we can continue funding Happy Feet for future sessions. So if you want to take a couple minutes or a couple seconds to kind of grab all of that equipment, I'll go into how this functional assessments will work. So I will, or Navreen will, introduce the assessment. We'll describe the directions. If you have questions, please unmute and ask them. Once we have everyone set up for the assessment, I will say ready, set, go. And on go, I will start the clock for the test. When the time is up for the test, I will say relax, and then you can just kind of shake out your muscles, relax, grab some water. We will pause for about 1 minute after the completion of each test so that Navreen and I can go through the Zoom chat and write down the results of your test. And we're going to keep repeating that for every assessment. So we'll remind you that, hey, after this assessment is completed, please go to the Zoom chat, Tell us, if you participated in the test and what your results are, and we'll tell you each time what information we need shared from you, and then we'll write that down so that we can record it for ourselves. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put in the chat. We also have another laptop that we're monitoring. If you can also want to unmute, you can also ask us as well. So before we do the functional assessments, we want to make sure you're nice and limber. We get your blood flowing, get your muscles a little bit relaxed and activated. So Navreen is going to walk you through some warm-up exercises just before we get the started. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Navreen will walk you through some of the warm-up exercises. So if you want to go ahead, get your chair set up. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right, Navreen.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Good? We're ready for our warm-up exercises? Perfect. As everybody's grabbing their equipment and chairs, I'm gonna set myself up for our first exercise. We will be doing seated leg extension. For that one, you will need a chair. And you will be sitting towards the edge of the chair, making sure your shoulders are rolled back and you're sitting in a good posture. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, and with an exhale, you'll be kicking your leg towards the ceiling by squeezing your thigh muscles, and you'll be holding it for 2 seconds and slowly bringing your leg back to your original position. And we're gonna do it 10 on one side, and then we'll do 10 on our other side, okay? Whenever everybody ready, we're gonna start with our first set. Perfect. Go ahead and take a deep breath in, and with an exhale, kick towards the ceiling, hold it for 1, 2, and bring it down with an inhale. We'll do second, 3, 4, make sure we're looking straight whenever we're doing these exercises to have a good posture. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Now we're going to switch to the other leg. Whenever everybody ready, we will be doing our set on the other side. 1, make sure you squeeze your thigh muscles as you're lifting your leg up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Perfect. Our next warm-up exercise is going to be upper body exercise, and we'll be doing shoulder rolls. For that one, you will be sitting towards the edge of the chair again, making sure you have a good posture with your shoulders rolled back. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. With an exhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, and you will be rolling your shoulder forward. We'll be doing 10 in each direction. Let's do 2, 3, 4, making sure we're not holding our breath. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we did the forward shoulder rolls. Now we'll be doing it in the backward direction. Same position, making sure shoulders roll back before we start. Take an inhale. With an exhale, shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, and this time roll it backward. You'll be feeling your neck muscles a little relaxed after sitting on desk all day. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Now we will be doing our third warm-up exercise, which is going to be a standing calf raises. You can also do this exercise seated if you can't do it standing. Whatever is more comfortable for you, feel free to do it standing or seated. So for that one, you will be standing next to a chair. You'll be holding on to the top of the chair for balance. You're gonna take a deep breath in, and with an exhale, you'll be lifting your heels up. And as you're lifting your heels up, you'll be squeezing your calf muscles. Hold it for 2 seconds and slowly bring it back to original position. We'll be doing 10 reps of these. And feel free to do it seated if you prefer doing it seated. 3, 4, making sure we're exhaling when we're lifting our heels up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Now we will be doing our last upper body warm-up exercise, which is going to be arm circles. So you'll be standing with your feet shoulder width apart and your arms out to the side. You can have it to your shoulder level, but if that gives you pain, you can also lower it down below to your shoulder, to your shoulder level, and we will be making circles. We will be making 10 circles in each direction. You can also do this one exercise seated as well if you can't do it standing. Whatever feels more comfortable with you, you can pick whatever that's more comfortable. Do 10 forward, making sure we're not shrugging our shoulders up, keeping it down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to switch directions. You can shake your arms a little bit before you start with other directions. Okay, whenever everybody ready, making sure again we're having our shoulders down, not up. 1, 2, 3, making sure we're not holding our breath. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect.
All right, so we are going to start our next our first functional assessment that Navreen is going to walk us through. I'm going to show you a PowerPoint slide of what that's supposed to look like so you can understand how you're supposed to be standing. So again, if you don't have your sheet of paper already, go ahead and grab that. You'll need your chair. Place your chair to the side of you, left or right, doesn't matter, so that you can use it for balance and stability if you need it. Okay. Okay, so the first test, Navreen is going to demonstrate for you, but what you're going to need to write down is whether or not you were able to keep your feet together for the 10 seconds, yes or no, and then if you did not participate in the test. Navreen will repeat this at the end after the 10 seconds, but for the first 3 tests that we're doing with Navreen, you will have to put down whether or not you were able to complete the test, yes or no, and if you did not participate in the test, and you'll put that in the Zoom chat and we'll let you know when to go ahead and do that. All right, so go ahead.
Okay, so our first assessment is balance assessment, as Dr. Podipai explained it. So we will be doing feet together. That's going to be our first test. To set up for that one, you will be standing next to a chair. You can hold onto the chair to set yourself up. And as you're holding to the chair, you can bring your feet closer together. And as we're gonna go, ready, set, go, you'll be relaxing your hands to the side and you'll be holding the position for 10 seconds. And your feet will be close together like this. And your arms will be out to the side of your body. Okay, whenever everybody ready, we're gonna start the assessment. Ready, set, and go. Go ahead and relax. Wonderful, that was our first test. Go ahead and take this time to record your assessments. You can put it in the chat if you were successfully able to complete the assessment. And it's okay if you were not able to, please let us know. And if you did not participate for this assessment, you can also put it in the chat with your first and last name. And we'll record the results. Perfect. We're gonna move forward with our second test. That's a little bit challenging than the first one, but I'll walk you through. So for that one, you will be standing next to a chair. Again, you can hold on to the chair for balance. Okay. For this one, you will be holding on to the chair to start with and making sure your feet are together. And you will slightly slide your one foot forward. It doesn't matter if you bring your left or right foot forward, just slightly bringing one foot forward so that the toe of your one foot is next to the heel of other foot. I'll be demonstrating that in the video as well. So it will look like this. So toe of one foot is next to the heel of other foot. Okay? Whenever everybody ready, we're gonna start the assessment. Perfect. Ready, set, and go. And relax. Again, wonderful job. If you were able to complete the test without losing your balance, you can put it in the chat, yes. If you did lose your balance, you can also write no. And if you did not participate in this test, you can record did not participate in. I like it, John. You write number 2 in front of your answer. Perfect. Now we're gonna get ready for our third balance test. Again, you will be standing next to a chair with feet together. And this time you will be bringing your one foot next to the other foot in a straight line. Again, you can hold on to the chair to set yourself up for this one. And whenever we say ready, set, go, you can relax your hands and feel free to grab to the chair at any point if you feel like you're losing your balance and you won't be able to complete the assessment. Okay? Whenever everybody ready. Okay. Ready, set, and go. And relax. Wonderful. That was our all 3 balance test. Go ahead and report it in the chat.
Okay, as we're getting ready to write down these results, the next thing we're going to be doing is a 2-minute step test. So there's a little bit of endurance. So if you need to grab some water, now's a good time. And you're going to need to set up your chair right in front of you as well. All right, so this next test is the 2-minute step test. So we're going to be testing your endurance. What you want to do, as demonstrated in this photo, is put the chair in front of you for stability. You can absolutely use it, or if you don't want to use it because you want to challenge yourself, that's perfectly fine, but we encourage you to use a chair. So we want you to record and count in your head over the next 2 minutes how many times you lift your right foot and leg off of the ground. If you can't do this standing, it's perfectly fine. You can do it seated. So you just sit in the chair and lift each leg off of the ground. So I'm going to demonstrate. So when I say go, can you adjust the camera for me? You're going to lightly hold the chair. You don't want to white knuckle it. You're going to, when I say go, you're gonna lift your feet off of the ground at least 6 inches, and you're gonna continuously march in place for 2 minutes straight. And I want you to count how many times does your right leg and foot leave the ground over the 2 minutes, all right? So if you want to count out loud because you're muted, that's perfectly fine, but just make sure you're on mute so you don't accidentally confuse somebody else. And then, or if you want to count in your head, so just remember when the 2 minutes are done, I will say relax, and then I'll have you put how many times your right foot leaves the ground over the 2 minutes in the chat so that we can record. Does anyone have any questions before we get started? If I don't hear a question, then we'll get started. Stop questions. All right, everyone, nice deep breaths. Okay, ready, set, go. Let's start marching. Everyone's looking really good. You have 1 minute left. Keep going. If you need to take a break, you can, and you can resume. If not, keep on going. Five, four, three, two, one, relax. Well done. I'm tired just looking at all of you stepping and marching and running in place. All right, so go ahead and put in the chat how many times your right foot and leg left the ground. Once you put your answers in the chat, please get some water, shake out your legs, get some oxygen back into your system, and then we'll get started once we get these results written down. I did forget to say, if you did do it seating, that's perfectly fine. Just please go ahead and put that you did it seated. If you did it standing, you don't have to put that you did it standing. But if you did do it seated, please let me know. Man, these numbers are so, so impressive. Maybe we should start a running group. I won't be joining, but I encourage you all to join. Very nice. Okay. Like I said, take some deep breaths in, shake out those legs. We're going to be doing another lower body test in a couple of tests. So we'll give you a little bit of a break, but kind of get that blood flowing, the oxygen going, so that they're not too fatigued once we hit the other test. All right. Very, very impressive. I'm just gonna go ahead and describe the next test and let you have some moments to get set up as we finish recording the results. So we're gonna go up to our upper body now, give your legs a little bit of rest. We're gonna do a 2-minute bicep curl. So what you're going to need, you can do this sitting down, and we encourage you to do that so that you isolate just your upper body. If you have a dumbbell accessible to you, for women, it's going to be 5 pounds or whatever you can do. For men, it's generally suggested 8 pounds or whatever you can do. If 8 is too heavy, do whatever is comfortable. If you don't have dumbbells, pick a household item. It could be a big can of soup. It could be a large water bottle. I have a Hydro Flask. When it's filled, it's quite heavy. Or it could be a gallon of water. That's usually around 9 pounds, or a laundry detergent bucket, whatever you have accessible to you, go ahead and grab that. So I'm gonna demonstrate the test for you, and then that way you'll see what we're going to be doing. So, so you're going to sit. Here is my 5-pound dumbbell. Generally, we suggest using your dominant hand. So usually most people are right-handed. So I will switch the chair around so you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to have whatever item in your hand. You're going to start where your arm is about 90 degrees, okay? And then when I say go, I want you to curl your forearm up to your bicep muscle for 2 minutes straight, right? So I'm just demonstrating. You don't need to go all the way down. That puts a lot of strain on your elbow unnecessarily. Starting at 90 and just curling up. Make sure that you're breathing. Don't hold your breath, especially for 2 minutes straight. Make sure you're taking nice deep breaths as you're doing the exercise. So when I say go, you can go ahead and start. And when I say relax, you'll go ahead and stop the test. If you do need to stop and take a break between the 2 minutes, it is a long time. Please feel free to take as many breaks as you need. And when you're ready to start up again, you can absolutely do that. So I want you to count how many times your forearm meets your bicep. So that's how many times that you're going to be counting for the number of bicep curls, all right? Any questions before we get started? All right, for those who did a warm-up, go ahead and shake your arm out so you're not too tense. And then again, when we stop the test, thank you, you'll write down how many times your forearm met your bicep for the test. And then you'll also let us know what equipment you use. So Kathy will put a dumbbell and how many of her pounds with that. If someone uses a can of soup, you'll put that as well. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Ready, set, go. Halfway done, you're doing really well. Keep on going. Remember, if you need to take a break, you absolutely can. And when you're ready, you just go ahead and keep on curling. And relax. Very nice. Go ahead, relax those bicep muscles. Are you feeling the burn? Okay, go ahead and put in your response how many bicep curls that you did and what piece of equipment you used to do those bicep curls. So go ahead and take a moment. Once you put that in, shake out your arms, grab some water, grab some oxygen, maybe stretch it out a little bit, and then we'll get set up for the next one.
What if you did them, but I have to do it with the opposite of my main arm because I'm compromised on my right. That's all. I did it left, and I'm
That's
not a lefty, but I'm a right.
okay.
I'm not doing anything on my left today. It's just I did enough today.
No, that's fine. Jeanette, do you remember if you did that for the first time, you use your left as well for the first week when we did these tests?
No, I did my right more than likely. I did my right. I didn't
Okay,
do my
that's
left.
fine. We will
Yeah.
record that you did it with your left this time. No big deal.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. These numbers are very impressive, and so are the variations of things that we're using for weights, such as a wine bottle. Was it full or was it empty? That's the question. Or will it be empty? All right, just a couple more. For the next one, you will be needing a chair. We're going to be doing some lower body exercises, only 30 seconds this time, no 2 minutes. But go ahead and grab a chair if you're not already sitting in one. And like I said, grab some water if you feel like you need it. And move on to the next slide. All right, so the next one is going to be a 30-second chair stand. So what we're looking to measure is your lower body strength. So you will need your chair, and you'll see in the picture that you want to sit towards the front half of your chair so that your feet are nice and stable and flat on the ground. Okay, so what you're going to be counting in your head is how many times your butt leaves the chair and is in the air when you're standing up straight. And you're going to want to note if you have to use your arms or if you didn't use your arms, if you use an assistive device such as a cane, a walker, and if you stopped early before the 30 seconds, or if you did not participate in the test at all. Don't worry, we'll reiterate, what exactly you have to write down. So I'm just going to demonstrate really quickly. So you want to be, like I said, on the front half of your seat. Your feet should be flat on the floor, about hip width apart, just to give you a little bit more stability. Your arms, I suggest, if you're able to, is put on your hips so that if they're over your chest, people tend to pull themselves down. We don't want that. We want to sit nice and tall. So when I say ready, set, go, I want you to stand up from the chair and touch the chair with your butt as many times as you can. So you want to sit to stand from the chair as many times as you can in 30 seconds. If you feel like you need to take a break within those 30 seconds, feel free to do so. And when you're ready, you just continue in those 30 seconds. So remember, you want to count how many times you are standing up straight from the chair. That's how many repetitions that you'll be doing over the 30 seconds. All right, any questions before we get started? Going once, going twice. All right. Oops. All right. Everyone in position? Ready, set, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Your legs burning? It should be a little bit. All right. So, like I said, I want you to put in the chat how many times that you stood up from the chair. Did you use your arms? You just say yes or no arms. If you use a device, go ahead and put what device you use to assist you. If you didn't use any device like a cane or anything like that, you don't need to put that. And let us know if you stopped early. If you didn't participate, that's perfectly fine. You just go ahead and say did not participate. So go ahead and start putting that in the chat. Go ahead and shake out those legs. Very nice numbers, everyone. And a lot of unassisted, which is really, really crucial. That means that you're activating the muscles that you need, and you're able to use them without any assistance. And that's extremely important. Just check in. All right, go ahead and finish that off. Are you good?
Yes.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do over the next 15 minutes, so Navreen is gonna lead you in a couple of cool down exercises. I'm gonna stop sharing so that you can see her. After the cool down exercises, I wanna go over a couple of concepts in terms of resistance training. I know there are a couple of questions about how do I know what resistance band to use? How do I know when I'm ready to increase the resistance band or change your resistance band? So I want to go over those concepts again. I know Adeline touches upon them before every class, but I want to kind of just go into a little bit more detail so that you feel a little bit more empowered after this program ends to keep kind of going and progressing yourself, because that's how we see change. And then I'll go over the virtual exercise class programs again, and any other questions that you might have, I'm happy to answer. So Navreen, go ahead and take it away.
Hello again. Okay, we're gonna start with our cool down exercise. For that one, we're gonna start with seated hamstring stretch. So I'll be taking a seat on chair. I'll be sitting towards the edge of the chair, and I'm gonna straighten my one leg, keeping my other leg on the ground. And I'm gonna take a deep inhale, and as I'm exhaling, I'm gonna try to reach my toes. It's okay if you can't touch your toes, I can't either, but try to stretch your hamstring as far as you can go comfortably without any pain. And we'll be holding this position for 15 seconds. And make sure we're breathing, and every time we're exhaling, try to go deeper into the stretch. Okay, 6 more seconds here. Keep breathing. 2 and 1. Go ahead and relax. And we're gonna switch to other leg. Perfect. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. With an exhale, try to reach your toes. And we'll be here for 15 seconds. And with every inhale and exhale, you can try to go deeper into the stretch. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. We're gonna do another round of it. And if this is challenging for you, you can also do a modification. That would be the knee hug. So you can simply just hug your knee, bringing it closer towards your upper body, and hold that stretch for 15 seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and do the seated hamstring stretch again. Standing my leg out. With an inhale and exhale, I'm gonna try to reach my toes. Making sure we're not holding our breath. And we're feeling it right behind our hamstrings here. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. And we're gonna switch to our other leg. Deep inhale with an exhale. Try to reach your toes. Seven more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax your body. Shake your shoulders. Move your legs before we do our upper body stretch. If you prefer doing this stretch standing, you can also do it standing, but if you wanted to do it seated, I can also show the modification for that one too. So you're gonna have your hands at the back, locked in. Your hands will be locked in at the back. Your chest will be puffed out, and you're gonna try looking towards the ceiling. As far as it's comfortable, we'll be stopping there, making sure you're inhaling and exhaling and feeling that chest stretch. And for the seated one, you can sit towards the edge of the chair again. You can have your hands on the chair. You don't have to go all the way back. You can just have it around the chair, and you're gonna try to look towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch in your chest. Okay, I'm gonna do the standing one first. We'll be doing 2 of these. Hands locked, looking towards the ceiling. This one feels so good towards the end of the day. Making sure we're breathing, not holding our breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax your body. We'll do one more round of that. Okay, whenever everybody ready. Get started. Looking up towards the ceiling, holding it for 15 seconds. Making sure we're not holding our breath. Every inhale and exhale, try to feel more stretch. 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax.
All right. Very nice. Thank you, Navreen. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, talk a little about just a couple of concepts for resistance training that I think are difficult for, honestly, most people, because it is a difficult concept. So let me make sure I'm sharing my screen correctly. Okay. First, if anyone has any questions about the virtual exercise program, I think a couple people already have signed up. I'm going to post the link to the Microsoft Forms online form for you to sign up if you're not very savvy with QR codes, which is fine because most people are not. I'll do that at the very end once I stop sharing the PowerPoint, and I'll also email it to Jen. And I'll have Adeline posted in the private page as well, so that if you do visit the private page, you can sign up there if you are interested. Like I said, it is 4 days. It's offered 4 days a week at different times of the day. You are more than welcome to join as many days of the week that you want. With the caveat that you do give yourself a break. You don't need to feel obligated to resistance train every single day. You need to give yourself some time to recover and your body to refuel to make sure that you're doing the exercises properly. If you have any questions about the program, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can answer any questions for you. We have a couple of people from Happy Feet already doing the program. From what I heard, they're enjoying it so far, and it is some similar format to Happy Feet. So we hope to see you in the next couple of weeks up until May. So one of the things I want to talk about is, how should we know what exercise band we should be using first to start off with? And then how do we change the exercise band to make sure that we're seeing the changes that we need to see when we're doing exercise? So one of the things that, we get questions a lot about is how hard is your exercise? So you should be asking that to yourself. How hard is the exercise that I'm doing? So what we use to gauge how hard an exercise is a scale called the rate of perceived exertion. It's a mouthful, it's scientific, it was developed by scientists, but really all you need to know is called an RPE scale. So an RPE scale is used to track how hard your exercise feels. How difficult is it for you? So it is very subjective and is different from person to person. For usability and ease of usability, we use it from a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 is the easiest, like this exercise was nothing for you, it was just kind of a movement, to hardest was the hardest thing that you've done for this particular exercise. So use this scale of 1 to 10 to gauge how hard or difficult your exercise is or what your RPE is. So you can see this like kind of traffic light system of 1 to 10. You have 1 to 2, which is very easy, 4 to 7, which is where we suggest most people's exercises should be. So you want to be able to rate it between 4 to 7 on how difficult the exercise was. And if you're ranging into that 9 to 10, then you might want to readjust what you're doing with your exercise. So kind of keep that traffic light system in your head about how hard your exercises are. We recommend that your workout should be between 4 to 7. And your workout should be uncomfortable, meaning that you feel like your muscles are working. You might feel some burning a little bit, but it should not be painful, right? Uncomfortable and painful are two very different things, and you should be very aware of how you're feeling during the exercise. If you're not feeling anything and it's not uncomfortable, that means that you're in that green range and you're really not pushing yourself as much as you could be. But if every single repetition is extremely difficult and is painful, then you might need to readjust how hard you're doing your exercises. Okay, so again, keep that traffic light system in your head, keep that scale of 1 to 10 in your head as you're doing the exercises. Okay. So another question is, how do I choose a resistance band? How do I know which one I should be using when I start off an exercise? And the answer really, if you're not in some type of exercise laboratory where you're doing this very vigorous testing protocol, it's just really trial and error. So how you do that is that you pick a band. It could be the easiest band, it could be the second easiest band. You just pick a band, and I want you to try 10 repetitions of any exercise. It could be any of the exercises that we have demonstrated and that you have done over the past 6-7 weeks. So pick one of those exercises and pick a band and do 10 repetitions of the exercises. After those 10 repetitions, I want you to ask yourself, how hard was that exercise? What was your RPE on a scale of 1 to 10? All right. So again, how do you know which one to try out in terms of which band or which dumbbell or which weight you should be using? It's all trial and error. Pick, the weight, do 10 repetitions, and ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult was that exercise for you on this trial and error set? Okay. So, oops. Is this working? Okay. So after you've done those 10 repetitions for your trial and error, if your rating of perceived exertion, if your RPE, if your scale of 1 to 10, if you were between a 1 and a 4, you might need a heavier weight or a heavier band because it wasn't too difficult after those 10 repetitions. So if you are being honest with yourself and you say 1 to 4, it wasn't extremely difficult, I could probably do more than 10 repetitions and, not really break a sweat, you might need a heavier band. If you do those 10 repetitions and you're like, that was probably a 5 to 7, you can keep that same band that you did your trial and error set with. If you're 5 to 7 and you're good, the 10 repetitions, you feel like you did some work and you need a little bit of recovery to shake out your muscles, keep that same band. However, if you did those 10 repetitions and after you're done and you say that was really difficult, that was like an 8 to 10, you might need to scale back the weight or the band that you were using and maybe use the one that was one step down so that you fall between that 4 to 7, 5 to 7 range on your traffic light system. All right. So it really is dependent on how difficult it is for you. And really, I like to emphasize that just because someone else in the group used, let's say, the heavier band does not mean that you need to use the heavier band. This scale is so subjective, as is exercise and all the weights that we have used and suggested. So it's really about what feels good for you, what feels like you're using your muscles to do the work for you, and making sure that you can continue to do the exercises. Because if you're constantly in that 8 to 10 range where exercise is extremely uncomfortable and really just too exertional all the time, you could be doing more damage than good, which will then shorten the amount of time that you can actually exercise. So keep that, like I said, traffic light system in mind. Think about where you are on the scale of 1 to 10, and that is how you will gauge which band that you should be using. Okay. So the next question becomes, once I figure out which band I'm using, I've done some exercises, I've been exercising the same weight for the past, 2-3 weeks. How do I know I should be changing the weight that I'm using? So again, it's based on this scale of the RPE of 1 to 10. When the exercise starts to feel a bit easier, right, the rating that you're giving starts to go towards that green area where it gets a little bit easier. Let's say you started off at a 5 and it starts to climb down to 4, to 3, to 2, and it comes too easy. That means that in your mind, it should be like, oh, it might be time to increase the weight. So let's grab that other band, and we're going to do the same exercises with the heavier weight, but we're going to keep the number of repetitions of the exercise that we're doing the exact same. So I have in this slideshow a little chart for you, and it's the exercise that we're using as an example is the bicep curl. So if you look in the first row, on the first week of the exercise, you're using a 20-pound band and you're doing 12 repetitions and you're rating it a 7 to 8, meaning it's pretty difficult for you, right? But once you move into the second week, you're still using your 20-pound band. You're still doing 12 repetitions, but this week, on your second week, it's not so difficult. You're now dropping down to a 5 to 6 rating. And then once you move into your third week, you're at your 20-pound band still. You're still doing 12 repetitions, but instead of feeling the 7 to 8, 5 to 6, it's become easier, and you're now at a 4 to 5 in that mid-range on that scale of your traffic light scale. That should indicate to you, you know what, I think it's time that I need to increase the weight. So on your fourth week of exercise, you're going to trade in the 20 pounds and you're going to grab the 30-pound weight, and then you're going to keep doing your 12 repetitions. And then now what you're going to realize with that heavier weight is that you're going to find it much more difficult than you did the previous week because you've increased your weight. So now you've rated back to a 7 and 8, but that's because you've increased your weight. So now you're going to continue. And if the pattern continues, week 5 should drop down in terms of how hard it is. Week 6 will drop down even more. And then week 7 might drop down even more. And then now you can increase your weight again. So really, it's about having the conversation with yourself and really taking inventory after each exercise and feeling and asking yourself, how difficult was that? Because if it wasn't that difficult, it's time to push yourself and really use that self-motivation to make sure you are increasing the weight. We see this so often with patients and people who are training that they get comfortable in the zone where it's not so uncomfortable anymore and they feel like they're doing work because they're pushing the same weight over and over again. And what you're essentially doing is just that you're just kind of maintaining what you've been doing. But if you want to see progress, it's just about increasing that weight. And that's to say that it doesn't have to be 10 pounds. It doesn't have to be 15 pounds. If it is, that's great. If it is just another 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pounds, that's still progress. So the amount of weight that you increase is really arbitrary and it doesn't really matter. So it's just about making sure you make those increases over the weeks. All right. So that's the end of my slideshow. Does anyone have any questions in regards to how do you choose your band? How do you rate the difficulty of your exercise? Or how do you increase the weight over time?